welcome back. You with a special edition of Newsfeed. All right, Professor Chris Thurman, Professor of English Literature at Wits University, still with us. Daniel Kibble is the founder and director of CMtrading. He joins us now. And let's start, Daniel. Good afternoon to you. But, I mean, I don't know if the markets thought it would be as close as it has been. I imagine most markets would have been expecting, certainly hoping for some kind of direction by now.
And I think, well, it's very interesting, and you're 100% right. But what we're really seeing is that overnight, we had a situation where at the beginning, excuse me, I'm sorry. At the beginning of the evening, we saw the indices go up, the Nasdaq go up slightly, and then there was a bit of a fall. But what we've seen today is that the markets have corrected themselves, and now we're at the higher ends of where we were sort of yesterday, which suggests that the market is surprisingly not that bothered about the uncertainty the election has brought us, certainly as we are right now.
I mean, you would normally think that an uncertain American election result, biggest economy in the world, everyone would start looking towards their Chinese stocks for a change.
You would think that after the mess of COVID in the US, that maybe the incumbent president wouldn't get elected, but it's quite difficult to know the rationale behind it right now. I'm personally struggling to understand. I would have thought, as you say, with the uncertainty, with the potential of court cases, with this potentially dragging on for weeks, if not theoretically into January, that the stock markets would indeed show us some downturn. We're not seeing that right now. We're seeing the opposite.
I mean, what's so interesting is that the economy in any democracy is a huge election issue, been very important to Donald Trump. I mean, in your view, do you think people have been voting the economy? They've been voting his way partly because of that, not just because of his promise to keep the economy open, but because the American economy pre-COVID was doing, I mean, by historical measures, very well.
It's really difficult to say right now, because when we look at the opinion polls, which once again clearly were really off this time, the economy, even the economy, Biden was overtaking Trump on his ability to control the economy, and that was in the opinion polls. Clearly, Trump has struck a nerve on the economy. I think we can look at very much the effect of the Hispanic vote, specifically the Cuban Hispanic vote, and the attacks on socialist Biden, which clearly have had an effect. I'm not sure if the economy itself was the thing, but certainly Trump has got a very populist message. He's got a very enthusiastic crowd that goes for him, and I think the socialist attack on Joe Biden, it worked by the look of things in certain areas. Yes.
And Daniel, I mean, looking ahead, I mean, if we have 4 more years of Trump, how do you expect the global economy, global investors to treat the US?
It's an interesting one. I still think Biden's going to be able to do it unless the Supreme Court get involved. I think Biden's got a very clear way of winning the election based on the Electoral College, unless we go to court, in which case everything gets turned over. Should Trump win the election? Well, it's more isolationism for the United States. It's more trade wars with China. I don't think Biden would be specifically different to Trump on his relationship to China on the bottom line, but I think Trump is a lot more aggressive. I think 4 more years of Trump would see strengthening of stocks more than likely, simply because Trump is very pro-business. And he's pro the very big businesses. They don't pay tax. The ecology and the environment are not issues for Trump. It's not something he believes in. So big business can continue polluting and continue not to pay tax. So that's going to have an effect on the markets. And of course, because as you said earlier, the American market is the world's most important market. And what happens in America generally drags every other market with it. So I think 4 more years of Trump would suggest the continuation of the up curve. Of course, we've got COVID, and it's quite incredible that after 8 months, 7-8 months of COVID, the stock markets are all on all-time highs.
Daniel Kibble, thank you very much indeed from CMtrading. Really do appreciate the time. All right.